Righto, I'm just here with Kev Davis at Marcellin College. Huge facility. Kev, mate, you've been curating a while. I've actually come across you in cricket matches as well. You love your game, love the sport, and a bit of a journeyman on the curating circuit as well, a bit like myself too.
Yep.
So how'd you get into it?
Basically, was a bit lazy when I was younger and done year 12 and decided to repeat year 12. The teachers weren't too impressed with that because I was a bit of a wild child back then. So, one of my outdoor ed teachers had a connection at Cricket Tas and was lucky enough to do a season at Belrive Oval straight out of school. So.
Hey, who were you working under there?
Peter Apps.
That's nice.
I mean, his second last year there, I reckon. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot from him, ripper bloke and great boss.
So easy. And so where'd you head from there?
From there I done a bit of casual work at KG5 at Glenorchy Cricket Club down in the Tasmanian Premier League. My home club, so I played there as well. So spent a lot of time at that ground and still have a bit of a passion for that place now and always check the results and pop in every time I'm down there.
Too easy. And did you just come over straight to Victoria from there, or did you go anywhere else?
No. So I left there and went to the UK to play, as all young fellas do. Done a bit of curating work over there at Skipton Cricket Club where I played, and then moved back from there to Perth. Spent a couple of years in Perth, and then moved to Melbourne to be with the partner at the time. So.
It's quite a few trips there. Just in terms of curating in UK, did you pick up anything there that you thought was worthwhile to bring back here?
Completely different ball game over there, isn't it? You know, the clay is such a finer clay. It's almost like a coffee consistency. So just learned to deal with the wetter wickets a bit better when I come back. Obviously being young and raw, I sort of didn't know too much at the time on how to do wickets by myself. You know, I was always told how to do it. So I learnt the time management side of it pretty well as well.
That's a great experience. And so what did you do when you got to Victoria? Were you straight in a turf game then, or did you do a bit of other stuff?
Yeah, I just done some council work. So went on to Parks and Gardens at Glenora Council for a little bit as a casual. So I've done probably 8 years of casual work in various places. Done the wickets out at Boss James Reserve for Hampton where I played as well. And then it's sort of just been, the last 5 or 6 years has been a few different places as well. So.
Just see you were down at, was it Twins in Launceston? Was it not Twins Oval?
Twin Ovals? No, haven't been there. Love to be. That's at Kingborough. So.
Kingborough,
Amazing facility. So if anyone's down there, pop in and have a look.
Okay. Easy. And so you've got a wicket here in prep for Saturday. Looks like a well grass batting track from my experience, but obviously looks very consistent. How do you normally start your prep? And
so this week it's a bit tough. We've got a lot of thatch layer and a lot of organic matter under the surface, so it's trial and error for the first few games. We found now if we start 10 days out on this one, as you can see we've got a wicket over here which is under the single cover, so that'll be for next week. We've just got to trap the moisture in it because it dries out so quickly, so we're pretty heavily used with a single cover to trap the moisture in early stages of prep. This one's probably 3 weeks old now, so this will be the last week on this one. It's the third grade playing this ground this week because first and seconds have got away games. We follow the 10-day process, wet it up as much as we can early on. Probably day 3 of preps when we start to roll it. We're in on the weekends for school cricket, so usually roll the old boys wickets on a Saturday morning as well. Flood them Saturday night. Let them be on Sunday, and then Monday we're back into the rolling. So in all, we give them probably 15-16 hours of rolling.
That's a fair bit. And you still manage to keep that density there with the grass?
Yeah, we do. This has actually come back well. So we've done a full scarify over Christmas period here as well. So we've got quite a lot out.
So is that what cooch type you got here? It looks quite a thick blade on there. Is it just been allowed to grow out and that's why it's that way, or is it?
Yeah, so we oversowed it at the start of the season. It was quite bare, so we've got the centre anna in it now, and we've got rid of all the ryegrass out of it finally. So as you can see, the square's a bit bare, but we're making progress. So.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Looks as good as any of it I've seen around the traps. So. And then just sort of like in your cricketing journey, mate, is there any sort of experiences so far that you would say like have helped you really guide you in what you've been doing, or may drastically change the way you've curated or anything like that?
I think one of the things is just not to listen to the criticism. You're always going to get criticism. So I've always played at clubs that I've worked at. So if you look at my cricket stats, there's probably 20 clubs on there and 20 grounds that I've worked on. I've just learned to block that side of it out. So you're always going to cop a bloke who scores a duck with 3 balls is going to tell you it's the worst wicket he played on, but team scored 400. So just learnt not to take the criticism to heart, and when you do get positive feedback, you know that it's well earned. So.
Yeah, and you said you're curating here. So how often have you played on tracks you've curated on?
Quite regularly. So like I said, I played at Hampton. In the VTCA back then, curated their wicket. KG5 was down there, playing Premier Cricket down there. Played at Greenvale for a year, done some wickets over there too. It's quite regularly.
Ever brought up a ton on one of your tracks?
No, I'm a bowler, so if I'm scoring tons, it's bowling attacks is not too good. So.
And then so in terms of like curating sort of over, you've obviously been in the game a fair while. Have you seen any sort of great improvements sort of in like technology or anything like that? So you've got the electronic line marker over there. So anything like that you've seen it really have shaped the game as well?
Yes and no. Obviously, I think the education side of things is starting to become an important thing now, and you're seeing more and more courses for young curators. I know we done one out at Melbourne Grammar a few weeks back. My apprentice and I went to it. So there's certainly more education around wickets now than when I was first starting out, and it was sort of aimed more towards greenkeepers. So
yeah, easy. And in terms of like going forward with curating, like is there anything you'd love to see change about it, or any improvements you could see there?
I just think more access to the higher level curators, so that the guys, that are doing the elite stadiums, I think access to those guys for particularly young apprentices, I think that's only going to help develop the industry and grow the industry further, I think. So and you're getting more and more information fed down from sales reps and that these days, so it's always improving as an industry.
That's fair. That's great points. And in terms of working with any high-level blokes yourself, have you done any stints sort of working at the G, or worked with Les Burdett or anything like that?
No, not at the G. Spent last season out at Harry Trott working under Bappo at Junction, so that was certainly a good experience for me to get back into that level. Quite some time in between working that level, but sort of caught the fire in the belly again, and here I am trying to roll out wickets here now. So.
Yeah, beautiful. And Harry Trott, it can be quite a difficult square there to work with. How'd you find it?
Yeah, no, it was all right. Wickets weren't the greatest. That's probably on me more than the wicket table, if anything. But certainly you do have your challenges out there with, particularly the outfield. The wicket, Bappo, he resodded it last year, at the start of last season, so it had quite a healthy cover on it. But yeah, look, if you're good at what you do, you're going to manage with whatever you got dished up. So.
Yeah, and in terms of turf varieties, you would have worked with a few now.
Yeah.
I see that at Harry Trott they've got, I believe, Iron Cutter and Tiff Tough on the square there, besides Santa Ana. Is there any sort of specific creature you love to work with?
The Santa Ana's good, but being a Tassie boy from heart, I love working with ryegrass, so love the challenge of getting a ryegrass wicket up. So it's always good early season when you got a couple of ryegrass wickets and you're prepping them up. So.
And just to touch back on that UK experience there with the rye and Tassie rye, is that still quite different, or is it similar in terms of your prep and maybe your early season? Would it be a bit closer to what English conditions are, or is it just a clay?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. So they called it meadowgrass over there, which is fairly similar, but it was more the preparation. obviously want their wickets a lot wetter. Their wicket table's a lot working with Portland soil, so you've really got to keep that moisture in them to stop them crumbling and breaking up. So that was the difference that I found at the time. So
Beautiful. And just to finish off, mate, have you got any sort of maybe tips for aspiring curators coming through, or just anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, listen to all the advice. You can listen to it, but you don't have to take it all on board. You'll get fed a lot of inaccuracies. You'll get fed a lot of good feedback and good information. So just pick and choose what you want to listen to and take on board, and when it works, stick with that. We're not here to solve the world's problems when it comes to curating, but there's certainly ways and means to make it easier for yourself.
Beautiful, mate. Absolute pleasure to come out here and see you, mate. Thanks for the
mate.
chat.
No worries.
Awesome.
Cheers,
Thank you.
bud.